Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is August 29th, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. Take a look at all the lightning strikes still ongoing across eastern Washington, starting to wrap up here across southwest BC and western Washington, but very prolific lightning-producing storms. Brought a couple rounds across the Puget Sound last night also. We'll take a look at those details as this storm continues to track through the area, bringing some potential heavy rain for northeast Washington, Idaho, Montana, and BC here. And then we've got another system coming, and I want you to pay attention to this energy out here across the Aleutian Islands. Going to move up over the top of the ridge here, and it's going to set up shop across the Pacific Northwest, hopefully bringing some beneficial rains with it. A little bit closer look here, you can see the marine layer up against the Cascades spinning the atmosphere here with that system, and the green splotches here are lightning. You can see the most unstable band here still moving through eastern Washington, and chance for severe storms off to the east here as well as we go through the day today. This is looking at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet. And it shows the best instability aloft in this band here. And you can see that moisture pushing up out of the area here. So we're putting an end to the thunderstorms by the time we move towards the afternoon for western Washington, southwest BC. This storm continues to move across the area here, and that's why it's going to bring a flooding threat. You can kind of see the spin in the atmosphere there. Pretty good precipitable water values across the region. We'll take a look at that in more detail in a moment. And then you can see the next trough set up shop here over the Pacific Northwest. We'll be watching this one closely over the next few days, hopefully bringing some beneficial rain to put out any fires that may have been started with all these lightning strikes that happened over the last couple of days. This is looking at the severe threat today. Slight for some wind here across Montana-Idaho border, and that extends into eastern Washington as well. You can see the wind threat there and some hail threat there as well, mainly centered across Idaho. And this is day two as that system moves across off to the east. General thunderstorm threat risk there, mainly Spokane east here as that system winds down and gets out of our area. This is looking at our high temperature SeaTac. Look at the big drop, 86, 88, 84, then down to 67. Nice thick marine layer across the area yesterday. And we didn't get that much rain at SeaTac yesterday, so we're not going to make up that deficit. Sorry to say, but yeah, we're probably going to end the month there below average. And this is Spokane National Weather Service talking about that heavy rain there across some of the higher terrain. 24-hour totals, look at that, 1.5 inches. Could be a problem for the steep terrain and burn scars out there. And this is also National Weather Service Spokane here with a red flag warning. Any lightning started fires here with these gusty winds could spread rapidly. Great stuff here as always from the National Weather Service Spokane. They're always on top of it. And this is a nice weather station here. Save 10% off on the link down below. Great lightning detection system with it. And you can see those lightning strikes as they moved by my house very early this morning here. Fun to watch that come in real time. Now looking at the European, it actually didn't too bad, showing that the lightning was going to start further south than some of the other models. Like the HUR kept saying it was going to be off to the northwest of Seattle, but the European did better with showing that that lightning potential was going to be south of Seattle and across some of this extreme southern Washington Cascades and whipped over across the area. It probably did overdo some of this for some of the Seattle Metro and the Cascades, however, but not a bad job with the start of these thunderstorms. The NAM kind of swung and missed last night as well. It showed additional rounds coming through later this morning also, and I don't think that's going to happen. The band is kind of moving off to the northeast. Doesn't look like for instance, that thunderstorm across the Seattle Metro about 11 a.m. didn't happen as well. And the HUR, like I mentioned, kept showing the thunderstorms northwest of Seattle. This is the most current 48-hour HUR, I should say here, but you can kind of see what it's showing for today. But yeah, didn't do a good job. Did not show that lightning potential here south of Seattle as we went through the early morning hours. Now, taking a look here at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, there's that cold air associated with the trough offshore, moves through the area here, and then we've got that next energy that moves over the top of the ridge and sets up shop here. Kind of gets cut off there a bit here across Pacific Northwest. We'll be watching this one as we go through tomorrow, especially to see what kind of precip it's going to bring. Doesn't look like nearly as a prolific a lightning producer here across the region, so hopefully can bring some beneficial rain with it. This is looking at the European last night's run. System moves through, then we've got that next trough setting up, then this ridge tries to get in here a little bit, maybe warm us up for a day or so, and then another trough tries to swing through the area here as we go in through about Sunday night coming up here. So we'll watch those troughs potentially coming in through the weekend coming up, and we'll take a look at the GFS now. This is the 12Z run hot off the press. Here goes our system rolling through. Good model agreement with the European on the next trough. Ridge pinches in here for a bit, but doesn't last too long as another trough. So pretty good model agreement here between the European and the GFS, and the GFS wants to continue troughing here off across the Pacific Northwest as we move into the early portion of September here. And as always, if you scroll far enough out in the GFS, you get some good fantasy land stuff here. Look at this trough and this monster ridge up across Alaska here. Take that with a grain of salt, of course, purely fantasy right now. This is looking at 24-hour precipitation. The European overdid some of this here, probably across western Washington, at least Seattle south anyway. You can see some pretty good totals showing up here for northeast Washington, some of the North Cascades, Idaho, and into BC here. And then that system moves out, and here comes our next trough as well, showing some decent amounts with less lightning potential with this next storm system. So hopefully it can help out with some of the forest fire activity. Then as we go off in towards Sunday night, you see the next system starting to arrive here on the European. This is the 6 to 10 day. I showed this in last night's video here, but a nice blue signal here across much of the west coast through September 7th. And this is the precipitation signal here with additional troughing coming across the area. We are above average in the outlook. And here we go. This is slight risk for excessive rainfall outlook here. Risk of rainfall exceeding flash flood guidance within 25 miles of any given point here. So slight, you're looking at 15% there. So heads up for this if you're going to be out and about, especially off in the backcountry there across eastern Washington today on in through tomorrow. We even got our own little discussion there. You can check this out on the excessive rainfall outlook on the National Weather Service page there as well. They talk about the negatively tilted trough there moving across the area. And this is the day 2 marginal. You can see it does still include some in northeast Washington, but that system will be moving off to the east here as we go through tomorrow and Thursday. But yeah, interesting stuff here. What a prolific storm across the area. Nothing, I mean, it wasn't too exceptionally crazy across a lot of Puget Sound. It was fun seeing the flashes and hearing some thunder yesterday as well. But the big story was across Vancouver Island, northwest Washington, southwest BC. Just thousands of lightning strikes going on over the last couple of days. Crazy stuff. And we're still ongoing here across eastern Washington. And there's that severe storm threat with some gusty winds out there and that dangerous lightning as well and potential flooding out there. So kind of crazy system rolling through here in August, and we are not done yet as well. As you saw in the model runs, we have other troughs headed our way as we go through early September. So yeah, check back tomorrow. We'll do this again. We'll watch the systems roll in. Hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you guys then.